Alright folks, Bitching Games 88, we are back. Playing Let Me Down Gently, case number 7, Mysteries of the Past. Let's try and figure out who has a pocket watch. Ace, I do not usually allow my emotions to get the better of me, but this case really is quite tragic. Lucrezia was neglected and mistreated by those around her simply because of her Wait, what was that noise, Ace? Oh, Senior Trooper Ace, fancy meeting you here. Mr. Del Lobo, you should be inside the lighthouse with the other guests. Oh, of course, of course. Don't mind me, I just going for a stroll. I think not, Mr. Del Lobo. Hands up. Please, let us remain civilized. You had better explain to Senior Trooper Ace just where you were going, Del Lobo, and what it is you're hiding in that notebook under your waistcoat. He's got a pocket watch. Senior Trooper Ace, I can't even explain. I was simply popping out to procure more champagne. Horse feathers. You were running away like a coward, and I suspect it has something to do with this notebook we found on your person. Can you explain why you're in possession of what appears to be a list of valuables owned by several of the guests at the party, including Lucrezia Capecci? It's as I was told you earlier, Senior Trooper Ace. I just have an eye for pretty things. Art, women, I simply appreciate beauty in all its forms. Well, that's enough to make a stuffed bird laugh, Del Lobo. I'll bet my bottom shilling you that you're a gentleman thief. But the real question is, are you a thief turned murderer? Did Lucrezia catch on to your less than honest intentions? You killed her? Most certainly not. I've spent quite enough time listening to these baseless accusations, so unless you have any concrete proof, I suggest you leave me in peace. Well, enjoy it while you can, Del Lobo, because if Senior Trooper Ace discovers you murdered Lucrezia Capecci, you shan't find much peace in prison. I kind of want it to be him, but I don't think it is. Ace, we found ourselves with an impatient mobster and an escaped artist on our hand. We must make haste with this investigation. Since we are here, we should have another look around the reception room. Agreed. Hashtag New Year, same Ace. There's that. The mask, gold chain, carrot, briefcase. Where's the party hat? I see it. I suspect this locked briefcase shan't take you more than a moment to crack, Ace, and I know your ability to turn torn paper into an important clue is unrivaled, so please, don't let me stop you. We're close to apprehending the villain who murdered Lucrezia Capecci, Ace. I can feel it in my waters. Let's do it. Let's do it to it. Alright, so let's see. Interesting. Damnation, Ace. You pieced that torn paper back together, but all I can read is mentions set alike. The rest of the ink is faded beyond hope of recovery. It's clearly a newspaper clipping of some sort. Let's hope Miss Holloway can shed some light on its content. Yeah, she should be able to, for sure. Alright, that's an E, or maybe, yeah, E28. It's gotta be a L. Yep. Nice. Well, the paper you found in the briefcase is faded. Ace, let us recover these scribblings without delay. Sure thing. Now, although Isaac is my favorite, I do love trying to pretend that I can do his voice. So. Dear Jordan. Oh, brother. Well, this letter reads, Dear Jordan, I cannot wait to finally meet you tonight. Love your dearest L. Ace, we appear to have stumbled upon some private correspondence of a decidedly romantic nature. And you're right, Ace, your dearest L must be Lucrezia. I wonder if this dear Jordan could be our Mr. Wilson. Mr. Wilson claimed he was only briefly introduced to Lucrezia during the party, but this proves that he was in contact with her prior to last night. Let us speak with him at once. Oh, they were doing the love letters, and then he finally met her and was a little shocked. He has a pocket watch. Totally think it's this dude. Mr. Wilson, can you explain this letter Senior Trooper Ace found? You failed to tell us that you had arranged a romantic encounter with Miss Capecci prior to her death. Oh, where did you find that? Surely you cannot be overly surprised I did not tell you, Senior Trooper Ace. A young woman's reputation is a fragile thing. Anyhow, when we met in person, I realized at once that we were incompatible. Because of a cause? Of course not. She was simply a bore. She'd even declined to partake in drinking or smoking. And how did Lucrezia receive the fact that your fledgling romance was over before it had begun? Well, naturally, she was a little upset, but thankfully she did not cause a scene. Her death, however, has caused quite a scene. Let us hope you did not play a part in it. There's a couple people that could definitely be the murderers for this. But anyways, guys, I'm going to wait 9 hours. I will be right back. This has been Pitching Against 88. Au revoir. Alright, folks, Pitching Against 88, we are back. Let's finish this off. Hello there, Ace. Identifying the newspaper clipping you sent me was quite a challenge. Looking at the extent to which the ink faded, I ascertained that the article was published between 12 and 15 years ago. And that left me to cross-reference the article against the copies of the Concordia Gazettes issued between those dates. It took some time, but I finally found it. The original headline says, Capecci Mansion Set Alight. The article details a horrific fire which engulfed the Capecci home. Their infant daughter, Lucrezia, was trapped in the fire. How atrocious. How did the fire start? The article alleges that Mr. Capecci may have started the fire himself, though it does not elaborate on why he should have done such a thing. Well, the question is, did Vittorio know that his infant daughter was still in the house? Ace, we must talk to him. Ooh, that would make me feel guilty. Senior Trooper Ace, this is preposterous. I have preparations to make for Lucrezia's funeral. Well, perhaps you can speed things up by telling us about this newspaper clipping we found. Where did you find that? I must have dropped it during the party. I knew I should have had that last glass of champagne. Why would you keep such an article about your person? Mayhap you feel guilty about something, like setting that fire while your infant daughter was still in the house? How dare you, Senior Trooper Ace. I ran back inside myself in order to save Lucrezia, but I was too late to avoid her suffering those burns to her face. The fire was set by rival mobsters. They were swiftly dispatched with, but I have never been able to forgive myself for the injuries Lucrezia suffered. Well, let us hope this is truly the case, Mr. Capecci, and if you killed your daughter to get rid of your guilt, Senior Trooper Ace shall find out. Ace, a suspect's ties to Lucrezia are anything but simple. Her father claims he felt guilt over the injuries she suffered as a child, while Jordan Wilson dashed her hopes of romance upon their very first meeting. And what about Diego de Lobo? I'm certain he was at the party to pilfer, but was he also there to commit murder? We have no shortage of suspects on our hands, but we need more evidence. I agree. Let us climb to the top of the lighthouse. Whoa, hair is crazy. Anchor, postcard, gloves, banana, and bronze box. That's interesting. Ace, let us leave nothing unturned in that crate of party paraphernalia. And if I'm not mistaken, this is a cigarette case and a lighter. We already know that our killer smoked a cigarette after pushing Lucrezia from the lighthouse. This case must be theirs. Let's take a closer look. Ace, how did that champagne glass end up amongst that party paraphernalia? If you suspect our champagne drinking killer hid it there in a bid to bury any evidence of their involvement in Lucrezia's death, then we must send the glass to Viola at once. They should have just thrown it out the lighthouse and let it break at the bottom. There's a certain charm, black and white, but I can't. Silent films are very difficult for me to watch. Stellar work, Ace. Let's send those fibers you collected from the killer cigarette case to the lab. Post haste. Will do. Now I gotta grab some stars, or else we're never gonna finish the additional investigation. So I'll see you guys in 15 hours. Been Pitching Case 8. Over and out. Au revoir. Alright folks, Pitching Case 88, we are back. Oh, there was a spoiler? Oops, I didn't see it, so... Ace, these fibers you collect from the killer cigarette case are of the finest silk. I should wager that whoever they came from has a few bob. If I told you I'm rearing my own silkworms, I intend to fashion the most wonderful dress in approximately 5 years' time. Well, respect your dedication to fine garments, Viola, but we're in somewhat of a hurry. What else can you tell us about the fibers? Well, determining what these fibers came from was rather tricky. I analyzed the pattern in which they were dyed, revealing diagonal stripes. To review items of diagonally striped clothing a gentleman could wear without looking somewhat garish, Ace, that and the pure silk composition left me to draw one conclusion. These fibers come from a striped tie. Oh, so our killer wears a striped tie. Ace, let us hope this information permits us to tie up our investigation sooner rather than later. Oh, so it's the aristocrat guy. I forget what his name is. Oh. There we go. Ace, I'm afraid I've got bad news. Not a single clue remained on the champagne glass you sent me. Surely there must be something to be found. I shall eat my hat if Ace ever sends you a useless piece of evidence. Calm yourself, Isaac. The lack of any clues is in fact a clue itself. In order to have left no trace on the champagne glass at all, I believe that your killer must be wearing gloves. Oh, so our killer is sporting gloves, Ace. Well, the gloves are off now and you're on their trail. This is the guy that was flirting with her, I guarantee. I mean, it's gotta be. I do believe we have amassed sufficient evidence to apprehend Lucrezia Capecci's killer, Ace. Let us make haste. And that shouldn't happen going forward because, you know, this Thursday I'll be around to it's gotta be this guy. It's gotta be. Yep. Mr. Wilson, you are under arrest for the murder of Lucrezia Capecci, but you put such a brutal end to the young girl's life. Well, this is a joke, Senior Brace. That has absolutely nothing to do with the sword affair. Then why did we find your cigarette case at the top of the lighthouse? Did you light a post-murder cigarette to calm your nerves? Nonsense. Besides, smoking is all the rage, especially for us gentlemen. Well, a gentleman wouldn't manhandle a woman. We found your champagne on the victim's wrists, which were bruised when you pushed her out the window. It was a party, Senior Brace. There was hardly a soul who wasn't drinking champagne. Let us cease this charade. You also happen to be missing the chain from your pocket watch. Lucrezia clung to it in a bid to stop her fall, did she not? Can you believe that wretch almost pulled me with her? So you confess. Yes, but the girl took me for a fool. Lucrezia entered into a written correspondence with me under false pretenses. She sent me a photograph of her sister in order to lure me in. Naturally, I was eager to meet her. After much pleading, she agreed to meet me last night at the top of the lighthouse. I couldn't believe my eyes when I saw her face, talking about being duped. Oh, and so you pushed her through the window. Well, she told me that I knew the real her. That what's on the inside counts more than the outside. But this is real life, not some fairy tale. We quarreled, and I turned to leave, but she grabbed me and wouldn't let go. What was a man supposed to do? There's a brief struggle, and I pushed her. But I never intended her to fall through the window. Well, no matter how it happened, the fact remains that your actions were despicable, Mr. Wilson. You're under arrest for killing Lucrezia Capecci. Mr. Wilson, you're on trial for the murder of Lucrezia Capecci. From the Capecci crime family? Wow, you do like to live dangerously. Be glad it is I who am judging you and not Mr. Capecci. How do you plead? Guilty, Your Honor, but it was an accident. I didn't intend to kill her. Yes, I see here that you accidentally pushed her out of the lighthouse following a quarrel regarding your displeasure with her massage. You should do well to bear in mind that your swine-like behavior is no accident, Mr. Wilson. Anyhow, let us not dilly-datter over the matter. I hereby sentence you to 20 years in jail for the murder of Lucrezia Capecci. 20 years? I'll be 45 by then. My life shall be practically over. You should have thought about that before we push her out the window. Ace, I must say that I admire how you maintained your composure during a particularly difficult case. Lucrezia Capecci was neglected and betrayed by all those around her, so she pinned her hopes on a relationship founded on lies. Unfortunately, the person she believed to be her savior also turned out to be her killer. And now the killer has been brought to justice. There are other matters to which I would like you to attend. The appearance of this Del Lobo character troubles me. I should not like for him to disrupt Mr. Alastair's remaining parties. You must find out more about him, Ace. Definitely. I agree. Anyways, guys, I'll see you guys in the additional investigation. I've been Over and out.